A pleasant morning to ladies and gentlemen of the media. Welcome to another daily press brief of the TTPS for Tuesday, 17 April 2012. I will now proceed to give you some information. Around 8:15 a.m. on Monday, 16 April 2012, the victim, a 41-year-old man of Arapita Road, St. Anne's, was plying his vehicle for hire in the Cascade area when he was hired by a man who asked to be taken to Palmas. On reaching the Claxton Bay flyover, the man ordered the driver to proceed east onto Forest Park Road in the vicinity of the dump. The passenger then grabbed the driver behind his neck and announced a hold-up. The man then proceeded to rob the driver of one Samsung cell phone valued $200 and $570 cash TNT currency. The man then tied up the driver and made good his escape in the said vehicle, a gray Nissan B13 valued $33,000. The driver managed to untie himself and made a report to the Gasparilla police station. An all-points bulletin was immediately released, and officers attached to the Southwestern Division Task Force and the Criminal Intelligence Unit responded and intercepted the vehicle in the Cedros district around 7:30 p.m. yesterday. A 38-year-old man of no fixed place of abode was arrested and is assisting police on inquiries. And that is the end of this morning news brief. We now open the segment where you are invited to ask questions.
Morning, Sarge. Just before we get into anything else, I brought this up about a month ago, where there's been an increase in robberies around the Trin-City area, mostly in the vicinity of the taxi stand, to go towards the mall. That is by traffic lights on the bus route. There's been an increase in robberies in that area, and reports say that there's been a man posing to be selling drinks, and he has been causing some havoc in that area as well. Just want to know if there has been any headway gained into that matter.
Well, I'm not. I remember that same issue that you spoke about. Since then, I would have communicated with officers in the Northern Division, especially with the task force, and I know that police presence has been heightened, and special attention was paid in that particular area. As it relates to specifically that person, no headway in that matters yet.
Morning, Sarge. A couple of weeks ago, you made mention that the police the file was completed and was supposed to be submitted to the DPP, the accident on the Beetham Highway, where the not so young lady was dismembered. What's the latest with that investigation?
Well, the file was submitted to the senior superintendent, and it was sent back. As a result, it was lacking one or two information that was pertinent to the investigation. So I will continue to follow up on it, and I'll give you a feedback. But some critical information was lacking. So that will be dealt with, and as I said before, I will follow up and give you a feedback.
Will the police have any presence today at the funeral of Atiba Duncan, given that the residents in the area have been protesting on and off since his death?
Well, the police will be present anywhere once there's information that, could be, as I say, a volatile situation. So the police officer will be present to ensure that peace is maintained at all times.
And what's the status of the investigation into that?
Well, it's still ongoing. As it relates to the progress of the report, the public will be apprised.
But nothing to report so far.
That's
Yes, statements gathered and people questioned.
Yes.
And the officers still remain attached to the same police station. They haven't been transferred.
No, they have been has been reassigned to other duties.
Within the same, I don't know if you call it zone.
Out of the zone.
Out of the zone. Okay. How long ago was this?
As a matter of fact, that was done as soon as practicable, right after the incident.
I think it was last week I asked, and you said they were still working and they were still at the said police station. I believe it's St. Joseph they're attached to, if I'm not mistaken. So subsequent to that, they were moved.
Yes.
And this was to calm the whole situation. Because there were accusations leveled against their conduct.
Well, I'm not saying that. You are saying that.
Well, I'm asking. Yes, sir. It was the...
Well, the police officers will also be going through a process of debriefing and counseling. So, based on that,
And have they received that counseling as yet?
yes.
Good morning.
Morning.
So why would you say the officers were transferred?
Why?
Why were the officers transferred in your view, or the view of the TTPS?
Why were they transferred? Well, they were reassigned to other duties, and that is as a result of the debriefing process taking place and the counseling. So these officers were reassigned to other duties. As I mentioned before, they will continue to work. And I also mentioned to you before that the officers will be reassigned subsequently based on the information.
Going back to the first question that my colleague raised about the accident, you said some critical evidence was missing. Can you please elaborate on the critical evidence that was missing from that
Well,
investigation?
information as it relates to statements, we wanted to get some more information, some more persons to come forward. And I have information that one or two persons supposed to come forward to give a statement as to what transpired. And those are some of the information that is necessary.
Supposed to come forward. Have they come forward as yet? Oh, and when are they if not, when are they expected to come forward to provide the evidence?
Well, we're hoping that it's very soon. That's based on my information that I received from the
Okay.
investigator.
What is the status on Indra Gangabisoon's murder, attack, and eventual death?
Well, I communicated with Superintendent Abraham as early as this morning. One person was questioned, but we are still looking forward for some more leads as it relates to that particular offense. But so far, one person has been interviewed and has been since released.
So no other leads at all in this case?
Well, I'm not going to write it off and say there are no other leads, but we are hoping for the best.
Okay, any information on the murder of Mr. Jason Scotland on Sunday evening?
And not as yet.
All right, thanks.
Just going back on two quick things. You said they were reassigned. If you could just elaborate, what does reassigned mean? Is it that they're out of the tactical unit that they were once in, or is the reassignment just the moving from one police station to another outside of the zone?
Well, they have been reassigned to desk duties for now.
Outside of the zone as well?
Yes.
The superintendent, Mr. Abraham, made mention, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, that the police service within that division is lacking both manpower and vehicles. I know you would have touched on it yesterday, but if you could, what is or what will be done to alleviate that situation in the near future, given that they are now undertaking the 21st century policing where there will be the use of these vehicles and increased manpower?
Well, what I can tell you is that you will have observed in recent time the Northern Division, really stepped up the operations, and they are operating, relentlessly as it relates to exercises and so on. We have a number of recruits who would have left the barracks in recent time, just as recent as last month. And our administration team will be looking at those areas that will probably need, we'll be looking at the deployment tactics as to the various divisions and stations that will need the necessary amount of manpower, and they will be dealing with that.
Are you aware as to how many recruits passed out?
I know we had 2 squads pass out as early as last month, and I was approximately close to 60 persons.
So a squad is equivalent to 30?
Yes. Final question? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for attending another Daily News Brief. We look forward to see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a blessed day.